What's up, folks? So we're starting the video this way this time because my cat was on my lap and it's a long, complicated story. Regardless, we're going to listen to some more punk rock, and we're going to listen to a group I've never heard before, but friend of the channel Chris sent over, which is to say we're going to listen to an album by Bombs Over Providence, a Canadian punk band that seems to mostly have been active in the early 2000s. They had an EP 03, and I believe this album that we're going to go through, which is called Shake Your Body Politic, which is a very clever and amusing album title. And fair to say, the songs on the album all have crazy titles as well. But yeah, this is from 2005, so as far as I can tell, they weren't around a super long time. But Chris was saying they were like a local, like really popular band, back when they were around. So bottom line, yeah, again, I listen to a lot of punk rock, including some Canadian punk rock, Propaganda most notably, but also not the UK Subhumans, which, you see them everywhere on my wall, but also the Canadian Subhumans. And so yeah, I'm curious. No Means No, although I don't know their catalog nearly as well as the other two bands I mentioned, but yeah, I do know a little bit of Canadian punk, but never heard of these guys, so we'll have to see, the flavor of it and what it's all about. I will say, Chris also sent lyrics for all the tracks. I try not to look too closely at lyrics beforehand. I did scan we're going to listen to the opening. It's called like a preamble, and there's a amusing subtitle as well. But then we're going to listen to the first proper track, because the preamble's, I think it's like 19 seconds long. So the full name of the preamble, just so we have this right, it is the Grand Preamble, and then parenthetically, Annie, Get Your Gun, Mask, Duct Tape, and Some Matches. And then the second track is What I Destroyed on My Summer Vacation. So again, I scanned the lyrics for the first, couple tracks here, and it does seem, a political bent to it, but it's not like, overt, like smash you over the head with specifics. It feels a bit poetic. There's certainly a rage brewing. It's certainly, maybe at least on one level in the anarcho-punk, like direct action sort of vein, but it is sort of poetic too. Like some of the lines, they have like a poetic ambiguity to them, or at least, they say things without being, just direct and clinical, if you will. So, yeah, I'm intrigued by what I've seen in the lyrics, but as I said, I try not to, dissect them too closely before I've actually heard the manner in which they're presented. So, yeah, let's listen to it. This is the Grand Preamble, followed by What I Destroyed on My Summer Vacation, from the 2005 album Shake Your Body Politic.
Calling all intellectuals and other traitors, rousers of the rebel and the instigators. Get you all wrong.
Instantly it makes me think of Against All Authority.
Rest on laurels where they're beaten. We've arrived having already eaten. Shake your loud by choir of heathens. We're not coming home tonight.
Oh, yeah.
No one's in the line because I'm bleeding. My life's 3 feet through the wind. Somebody goes out in the bus, and I'm all on the 3% trail. No selling sound, but I put the band that's gone. Now you never get.
The vocals remind me of Leftover Crack a little bit.
Right now, I'm just trying to get my way through to this eyes closed. But the direct change is what's wrong.
This is great.
There's no carry good or right. Every now we know it's right. Temper on my very song. Take this back to the river. Those who never flinch. Come on, raise the stakes high. Raise the tender and raise our glasses. This is a prize that we can make up. I couldn't give a damn who's happy now. Turn the lights right when you come on down. Do you only ever try to read the crowd? I'll be there, feel my rage. That's a new brand place. But when we get down now, it rolls. Now, let's put it to the back to the wall. To the river, and the good for less. What's that they say about hate? Let's have a
I do like all the producing or like it's dynamic. Really do love the vocals. That can't be good. Why are you beeping at me, song? No, but again, it sounds like it's going to be not just the lyrics and the songs, but, you know, maybe little bumpers between songs and little, you know, live sound and, you know, all the implications thereof. In this case, like police band stuff. So, yeah, really fantastic opening track. You know, again, I'll have to pour over the lyrics, and again, you know, usually when I do these reactions, even for something where I don't have a lyric sheet, like, you know, it tends to take a few listens. So in this case, I'm ahead of the game. You know, I'll know everything that I'm gonna hear on a second listen, but it usually takes me a few listens still to sort of, you know, start to digest the lyrics and to think about them. But like I said, it's sort of like an adrenaline fueled, like lashing out, seemingly at the you know, insanities or brutalities of the world. Like I think there's some more specifics in there. Like I said, I think they're, you know, expressed within a sort of, you know, poetic and conceptual way where, you know, I think there's a little digging that'll have to be done, and ultimately, I will say the sonic stood out to me. Right, it's funny, like I mentioned, like the vocals right away are making me think of Against All Authority, which is like a ska punk group that was, I think, active in Florida like 20 years ago. Also, it made me think of Leftover Crack, another ska punk group that I'm not sure the status of currently, but yeah, ultimately both of those groups have, like, you know, these lava spewing vocals, and it's like multiple guys jumping in, and like that's what this felt like there. But then the Sonics themselves, it felt like it was reminding me of like turn of the millennium Propaganda, and I don't know if I'm like sort of like imagining that connection because I know they're a Canadian group and so on, but there were some moments where it was like, man, like, you know, if Chris's voice came in here, like I would, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a Propaganda song. Then again, you know, I've been listening to a lot of Strung Out, and some of the guitar riffs and so on, and the way the tempo changes and, you know, dynamic nature of the track continually shifting, it was making me think of Strung Out. So I suppose, like, bands that have been in my mind and that I'm listening to, my brain finds connections. So, you know, maybe I'm overstretching those a little bit, but those are the references that were coming to my mind. And, you know, bands, again, like Against All Authority and Propaganda and so on, these are bands that I'm hugely fond of. So that is a positive sign if you're making me think of those bands. So in any case, do let me know what you think of this one. Once more, shout out to Chris. We'll go through the rest of this album, and I really do appreciate the patience. He sent this to me a few weeks ago, and, you know, it's like the vast majority of material I'm getting, or given the vast majority of material I'm getting, which is both like, you know, physical albums coming to me in the mail and also digital stuff online. It's just taking me longer to get around to things, so I appreciate when people are, you know, cool and patient with that kind of stuff. So big ups to Chris. Do let me know what you think of Bombs Over Providence, and we'll be back for more next time. Cheers.